Welcome to Unity Inspired Living. Our community began in 1989 as a small worldwide Unity book study group, and we've continued the momentum as an ever-evolving spiritual community. Each Sunday, you will find dynamic thought leaders delivering inspiring messages and talented musicians sharing sound healing through their melody. Here, we embrace ancient spiritual traditions, universal truths, and emerging wisdom. Let's check out this Sunday message. We're so grateful you've joined us. Welcome. We are so grateful to be together here. So I like to begin our morning by setting our intention together in prayer. So I invite you into that space, however that looks for you. And I like to close my eyes and inhale and center in. And so we begin in gratitude. We begin in gratitude for this day, thankful for this community, for this sacred pause that we get to create right now that brings us into presence. We recognize the one life, the one intelligence expressing through everything, through all of us. This life is our life. We are centered. We are connected. We are whole. Today, we plant ourselves in presence and allow wisdom to unfold easily and naturally. And we bless our speaker today, Father Tom Bonacci, our musician, Mooney Star Music, our beloved Nancy, each and every one of you joining online today, right now, and in the future. We know that all is aligned and all is inspired, and we say thanks. We are so grateful for this time together. We are grateful for the blessings already unfolding, and we release this word in love, for love, and as love. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Namaste, beloveds. We are so grateful to be together in this space, joining. My name is Amy Vanling, and it is a joy to gather with you on this very Sunday morning, this beautiful Sunday morning. It's the only moment we have, and it's right now. Our present moment is truly the best moment. You have joined us here at Unity Inspired Living, and this is a space of reflection and healing and spiritual exploration and anything you want to create here, anything you want it to be. It's your space to live fully. And that's what we're about here. We want to practice showing up fully to what is real, to what is human, and what is divine. And in so doing, we remember that presence itself is the spiritual practice, being present in this moment and saying, this is really the only moment I have right now, and letting that land. So allow yourself to take a breath and settle and let your mind soften and maybe your body relax. Maybe your shoulders are tense, so release that tension, or your jaw needs to just take a break. So there's nowhere else you need to be right now. You are right you're in the right place at the right time. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. This moment is enough. You are enough. And perhaps that is really where presence truly begins. Everything is enough right now in this moment. So we are talking about plant yourself in presence this month. And I think what presence asks us is simple but profound. And it's really just, can we be here for our lives exactly as they're unfolding, exactly as it is? And so not just for those moments that we would choose and we want it to be like, but even for the ordinary moments, just the little things, the uncertain moments, the moments that are still becoming, embracing all of it. And so I think presence teaches us to stop abandoning ourselves in the rush toward whatever it is we're rushing toward, and instead just rooting ourselves in the here and now. So thank you for being here and rooting into this moment. It is always my deep honor to welcome Father Thomas Bonacci with us. Father Tom is a passionate priest, spiritual teacher, interfaith voice, whose work has bridged so much contemplative wisdom, compassion, justice, love, deep humanity. He is a remarkable human being. He has spent decades inviting people into a richer conversation understanding of spirituality, and one that is not rooted in separation but in connection. And we are just so grateful for your presence here with us, Tom. You carry gentleness and depth, and you help us engage life with greater awareness and courage. We have a lot of courageous conversations with you and love. So thank you. We're so grateful for you. Today's talk is a reflection on our whole annual theme, which is the kingdom within, walking the talk. And we're talking today about inclusivity. And Tom says we strive to be open-minded and open-hearted as we realize our need for one another. So this is going to be a rich conversation, and we're so thankful to have Tom with us. You will also see on our screen, and we are so blessed by the music of Mooney Star Music. This music, you will discover, carries warmth and soul and sincerity. And just a really genuine depth. And we are creating space through music for reflection and openness and connection. So the songs today, I know, will invite you inward, helping you slow down and feel more deeply present in this moment. So thank you, Mooney Star Music, for sharing your gifts, for sharing yourself with us today. We are tremendously grateful for you. And you will see another familiar face on the screen with us. We have that bright angel we call Nancy with us, and she is a bright, shining light on our community, and we're so grateful for you. She is here this morning with us, sharing our inspirational reading and guiding us through our prosperity and practice. So thank you, Nancy, for bringing these spiritual principles into our lives today. So thank you, everybody, for joining on the other side. We are co-creating this space together, those of us here on the live stream screen, and those of you Zooming, or you're not Zooming in, we're Zooming in. You're live streaming in through Facebook. We have so many pieces of technology going. It's really mind-blowing if you think about it. However you're arriving here, we are grateful that you were here. You are meant to be here. The time is right. So I like to invite you now to settle into your heart as we affirm the values that shape our community. I like to come back to this because this anchors us into like who we are and where we're going. And so our mission here at Unity Inspired Living is fostering love and wisdom, inspiring transformation, offering compassionate outreach, and embracing unity. And I am so grateful that we have this dynamic community of beautiful souls doing this together. So thank you. Thank you. We like to open with a community song because we know that singing together opens the heart. It creates harmony. It's just really good for us. So I'm going to pass the screen over here to Mooney Star Music, and he's going to open us with song this morning. Thank you, Mooney. We're grateful for you.
Sweet Lord, my Lord, my sweet Lord, ooh, my Lord, I really want to see you, I really want to be with you. I really wanna see you, Lord. My sweet Lord, my Lord, I really wanna see you. I wanna be with you. I really wanna see you, Lord, but it gets so long, my Lord. My Lord. Ooh, Lord. My Lord. I really wanna know you. I really wanna go I really want to know you, Lord, but it gets so long, my Lord. Ooh. My Lord. Ooh, my Lord. My Lord. My Lord. My Lord. I really wanna see you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Wow, that was just a soulful groove. I was feeling the groove in there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move into our inspirational reading now. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you. Today's inspirational reading is from the Daily Word and aligns with our theme, Plant Yourself in Presence. I am the peace of God. I may experience sensory overload when the noise of television, the internet, or social media disturb my concentration and sense of peace. To find my serenity, I turn down the volume of the outer world and experience the peace of God within. I shut off any distracting devices and rest my awareness in the natural sounds of the present moment. Peace washes over me as I let go of the noise and close my eyes. I breathe deeply, inhaling life, and experience the peace of God right here and now. Focused on the sacred space within where I abide with the presence, I affirm, I am the peace of God. As I emerge from meditation, I feel refreshed and reassured of ever-present peace. 1 Peter 3:4. Let your adornment be the inner self with the lasting beauty of the gentle and quiet spirit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. You know, sometimes we just need a short little mantra to like snap us back into I am the peace of God, you know, when life is lifing and things are happening. Just that reminder, I am the peace of God. Thank you, thank you. So as we go into our next song, you can hold that those words gently in your heart. I'm going to hand the screen back over to Mooney Star Music. Thank you, beloved.
People keep on learning while soldiers keep on dying. Well, I'll keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. My last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so darn glad I know more I did then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Believers, keep on believing. And preachers, ooh, don't stop preaching. But sleepers, just stop sleeping, 'cause it won't be too long. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again. My last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so darn glad I know more I did then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. No one's gonna bring me down. Till I reach my highest ground. Yeah.
I love that. Lots of love coming in for the music. Beautiful song, beautiful voice, awesome creativity, Mooney. Thank you for blessing our souls this morning. Beautiful, Mooney. We can hear the guitar. I know. Are we excited today? We hear it all. Um, just so beautiful. Yes, I love that. Till I reach my highest ground. It's so interesting because you think of grounding and planting and presence, and yet I love this song and the play on words and the activation through your soul, Mooney. Thank you. Thank you for letting the spirit move through you. I'm grateful. So we're going to hold that feeling now as we move into the prosperity in practice. Thank you, beloved Nancy.
Thank you. Prosperity's 10 Commandments by Georgiana Tree West from the Unity Classic Library. Use your wealth for good purposes only. Prosperity principle. What we direct toward good multiplies in meaningful ways. Prosperity in practice. Prosperity is not only about having, it's about using. This commandment gently asks, what is your wealth serving? Not only money, but your time, your attention, your energy. When what we have is directed toward good, toward life-giving purposes, something deepens. There is a sense of rightness, a sense of alignment. You may have experienced that giving towards something meaningful feels different than spending without intention. One expands, the other can feel empty. This week, bring awareness to how you use what you have. Let it support what is true, what is kind, what is life-enhancing. Good used well tends to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Good reminders there. You remember when back in the day, I mean, most of us don't write checks that much anymore that often, but when we would write for our gas bill or our water bill or whatever, electric bill or rent, and thank you in the memo and hearts and just putting that gratitude in there. And however we do that now, but it's just the intention right behind, like, how are we putting that circulation into the world? And we can really change the atmosphere. We can change the energy of anything, any transaction going on by the space we hold. So thank you for those reminders, Nancy. We appreciate you so much. So let all that anchor in as we return to another song, our final song this morning. Thank you, Mooney. So much love coming through. Everyone is so excited that we can hear you crystal clear and the guitar is working. Thank you for working that all out for us.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I'm saying don't worry about a thing. Oh, no you don't, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up this morning, rising with the morning sun. 3 little birds are on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, very pure and true, singing, this is a message to you. I'm saying don't worry about a thing. Oh, no you don't, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh, so don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up this morning, message to you. I'm saying don't worry about a thing. Oh, no, you don't. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry. No, about a thing. Oh, no. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said now every little thing is gonna be alright. I said every little thing is gonna be alright.
It's always a good day to channel some Bob Marley. Thank you. That was perfectly wonderful. We are so grateful for the space this morning that has been created. Thank you, Nancy, for your presence and care. And you notice Nancy and I tend to match a lot. And we do not plan these things, but it's a polka dot day for us. I love it. Thank you for the care that you shower into this community, Nancy. We are so grateful for you and your presence here this morning. And Mooney Star Music, thank you for the beauty, the sincerity, the soul you bring through your music, helping us soften and arrive into this space so we are ready to open up for the morning message. We are grateful for both of you, Nancy and Mooney Star. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the Facebook live stream side of this morning with us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I've seen your comments and your love that you're pouring in here. And just know that it's felt and it matters and it makes a difference. It really, it's energy, right? And so when you're expressing and we're connecting through, even through, Facebook live stream, it's all felt. It's an experience. So thank you for creating that experience with our community this morning. It takes each and every one of us. So I am so grateful to get to invite you into this talk this morning. And I'm inviting you to listen with open heart, open mind, clear that blank canvas and allow the painting of Spirit of God to show up. And so I am going to hand the screen over to Father Tom Bonacci. He has sent me beautiful notes. If you would like those, please email me, amy@unityinspiredliving.org, and I will send those right over to you. So thank you, Tom. I'm going to hand the screen over to you. We are so grateful for you.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on the verge of losing my voice, so we'll do this together. So I apologize for that ahead of time. I would like to take you back 2,500 years ago. That would be the time that many scholars today would call the axial period, AXIAL, or the first axial period. What many scholars believe is that in the first axial period, the religions as we understand them today came into being. Now, obviously, Islam and Christianity and other religions as well did not exist 2,500 years ago. But in one sense, they did. And that's because the axial period represents a shift in human consciousness. And it's a shift away from a sacrificial offering to the gods to appease them and keep them under control so they don't harm the human person. To the ethic of compassion. So while other religious traditions came into existence after the axial period, we can call them axial religions because their core is based on the ethic of compassion. That meant an important shift from thinking of the universe in terms of gods and goddesses that needed to be appeased and worshipped externally, to an internalization, if you will, or the realization of what today we might call the divine within. So we can go back to ancient mythology and the ancient times and ancient cosmologies and look at them from the viewpoint of a dynamic psychology and a dynamic cosmology. That is, the world around us tells us something about the world within us. And if we were to explore boldly and courageously the world within us, we then would have deep insight to the world around us. In my understanding of Hinduism, and this is the teaching that touches me deeply, is that everything has to be exactly where it is right now for you and I to be where we are this second. Now, I grew up in a spiritual tradition that oftentimes said, you are insignificant. Your lifespan on earth is 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, if you're lucky. Most of us spent in toil and trouble, and then you die, and then people forget you. So you're relatively insignificant. But from this other perspective, everything in the universe has to be where it is right now for you to be and for me to be where we are right this second. And far from being insignificant, you are precious, incredibly blessed. And you are here in order to be a source of blessing to everything that blesses you. One of the things that I think motivated axial thinking, that is an expansive understanding of what it is to be a human being, is that human beings were developing technology. Now, obviously, the technology of today outshines any technology of ancient times. But we wouldn't have the technology today if it wasn't for the creativity, the ingenuity of ancient people. It seemed that the very essence of the human person is to move in two directions, outward into the world, what is this world around me, and inward into the self, what is the nature of myself as a person. We call it axial because it's a turning point, as if it were on an axis. It invites us to an expansive way of thinking. If you remember a long time ago now, and I find it very hard to believe that it was a long time ago, a movie came out called E.T., the Extraterrestrial. And all of us fell in love with E.T. We even ran around with our fingers lighting up if we touched another person, or the heart would light up if we fell in love, which is just a wonderful thing to say. There you see in a movie, in a film, an ancient mythology is what happens when we meet that which is not exactly like ourselves. We've been told and conditioned, if we may use Buddhist insights, that we have to be in fear of anything that is not us, or anything that doesn't remind us of us, that anything that is different or strange must be the enemy, and we have to get it before it gets us. So the movie E.T. played with that theme in such a way that it opened up the heart. And oftentimes it's children who create this breakthrough. That's why in the great axial religions that were born from 2,500 years ago to the present, you may even hear great spiritual masters say, unless you become like children. And it's not so much to become innocent as it is to become inquisitive, as it is to be radically open to the world around you. I remember once that I saw a little kid was sitting on a bench with her mother, and the mother was laughing because the little girl discovered her big toe. And the mother shouted out to people, "My daughter has discovered her big toe." And somebody shouted back, "That's because she's going to be a great dancer." And the little girl jumped off the park bench and started dancing around. And all of us rediscovered our big toe. Sometimes when we meet other people, as a matter of fact, all the time we're invited, but sometimes it happens, we rediscover our heart and we rediscover our capacity to love. When the axial sages, that is the great axial teachers, like Buddha, Confucius, and Lao Tzu, started speaking about love and compassion, they were not talking about some kind of looking down on another person. As the great Jesse Jackson put it, never look down on anyone unless you're willing to lift them up. What the axial sages and teachers discovered is that we human beings cannot live well. As a matter of fact, we might not be able to live at all without a dynamic relationship one to another. That's why we need to be careful, because we can come together and we can talk and dialogue about the splendor of the soul and the spirit and the person that is I. We can talk about the splendor of intelligence and what it is to discover what's true. We can explore what it is to have a will and be in hot pursuit of what's good. We can discover our soul's capacity to love. But unless it moves from ideas to reality, it remains abstract. It remains a blueprint of a beautiful house that no one can live in because the house hasn't been built. It's simply a blueprint. Today, we might be very, very enamored of the fact that we can discover what it is to have peace of mind, serenity of heart, what it is to not be engaged in the madness that surrounds us so that it does not become the madness within us. But the fact is, compassion and love remain abstract if they simply are desires that we have and not a way of living that we engage. Several years ago, someone wrote a very beautiful song. And the song is, "All are welcome in this place." What I found interesting is that there were some worship sites that said, "No, we're not singing that song because everyone is not welcome here. The only people who are welcome here are people who think like us, people who look like us, people who remind us of how precious we are, how good we are, and how worthy we are." In other words, it becomes a cauldron that the only reason why I love you is that you remind me of me. If we go back to the little child, children are attracted to that which they do not understand, to that which they do not comprehend. They seek and they find, and they will oftentimes even talk to perfect strangers. Have you ever been in that condition when you're in a restaurant and the child stands up in the seat next to you and looks back and looks at you while you're eating and says, "Hello, how are you?" And mother or father might say, don't disturb other people. Well, I don't know about you, but I'd love to be disturbed. I love it when a little boy or a little girl goes across the divide, the convention, and the fears, and starts waving and says hello. It opens up something within the heart. Maybe someday I will be able to do what that 5-year-old does so instinctively. Here's where the axial ways of thinking are not 2,500 years ago, but in the current events and situations of our lives. Rumi put it this way: I'm a better person because I met you. Now let's deepen this a little bit. In order for compassion not simply to be an empty-headed sympathy for the self, but a heartfelt concern for another, we must practice an ethical virtue called inclusion. Inclusion means to welcome others without boundary, to go across. And here's where it gets dangerous, because you and I have been conditioned in many, many different ways to establish boundaries. And obviously, we have to do that. There need to be limits and boundaries for the sake of safety for the self and safety for others. It's a common sense approach. But it can be so overdeveloped that we create things like sexism and racism and xenophobia, and we start excluding people simply because we don't know them, simply because we don't meet them. Our fears can become so profound that it causes our hearts to become hard, our thinking to become short-sighted, and our attitudes to become prejudicial. The Quran celebrates that Allah created us differently, that we might get to know one another. And the word know in the Quran, like in the Bible and other religions, is a very, very deep word that means to experience firsthand, not simply to have book knowledge and academic knowledge of another. Did you ever have someone come up to you and say, I heard so much about you, and finally I have the opportunity to meet you? And with a smile on their face that reflects the openness of their heart, they extend their hands and greet you warmly. There you see the practice of the ethics of inclusion, what it is to welcome another person into your space, what it is to walk into the space of another person with joy and with gratitude. I am so thankful to have met you in this moment. The more diverse a society becomes, the greater its practice of inclusion becomes. It is interesting that, and it breaks my heart, that in contemporary America, in the United States, there is so much opposition to diversity and inclusion. But you couldn't fall in love if you didn't practice diversity. You could never have a friend if you didn't practice inclusion. In other words, elements like diversity and inclusion, or powers, energies, and virtues like diversity and inclusion, are not political points of view. They are the way human beings live. Go for a walk in the world, and the first thing you will notice is the diversity of creatures, the diversity of beings. The whole world lights up in a richness of diversity. That's why at any given moment in our lives, we may find ourselves swimming in the ocean, meditating by the river, flying with the birds, climbing the mountain with the goats, or climbing a tree to savor an apple on a hot summer afternoon. There's the richness. There's the diversity. It's all around us. Everything invites us to this richness of life. Then if we were to take this even deeper, the practice of diversity and inclusion moves us into directions so that we may encounter people whose situation breaks our heart. Oh, someone has died. I am so sorry. Someone is born. I am so happy. But notice to someone who has lost a loved one. Notice to someone who has lost a job. Notice to someone who has lost a sense of direction within their life. The brokenness of their situation breaks my heart. Someone once said, and you've heard it 1,000 times, the broken heart is an open heart. It's one thing to invite someone into a room. It's one thing to invite someone into a sanctuary. It's one thing to invite someone to walk with you along the river. It's quite another thing to invite someone into your heart. We talk about the presence, which perhaps is one of the deepest words for the divine, for God, to walk in the presence. In one expression of religiosity, there's a prayer that says, in you, O God, we live and move and have our very being. Every day you show us a father's care and a mother's love. Your spirit dwells within us. Once a rabbi compared the presence of God to a fish in water. The fish doesn't ponder where God is because the fish knows. Within me, around me, beneath me, beside me, but more than that, I can't live without this water. I can't live without the waters of the divine. I can't live without the waters and the air of the divine. I can't live without the Spirit dwelling within me. The fact is, everything that's created, everything that exists, is included in the divine presence, however you understand the divine presence to be. The older I get, the more I call it the everything of it all. And all I can do is be amazed by its beauty, converted by its terror, astonished by its magnificence. Far from diversity and inclusion being political points of view, they're the very nature of the universe. Why would something as grand and mysterious as the universe make a condition for you and I to exist? Sometimes I look at my life and I conclude it's insignificant, or I don't have enough time to do what it is I would like to do. And yet, in the nanoseconds of my life, the universe keeps empowering me to be my authentic self. Perhaps all I might ever be able to do in the journey of my life is to bring moments of compassion, empathy, and love to another person. I may never figure out what the purpose of it is. One of the Psalms in the Hebrew Bible puts it this way: I busy not myself with things too sublime for me. Rather, I have quieted my soul. But if I quiet my soul, I open my heart. And it is the nature of my heart to meet another person. It is the nature of my heart to rejoice in the diversity of it all. That's why, even from a scientific point of view, at this very moment, we are exploring the universe in order to see its beauty and its mystery, and we are astounded by it. Unlike the old science that thought we would have answers to everything, the new science now has questions for everything. What does that mean? What is that beautiful object we're seeing in deep space? Is it an object or is it our mother? What are these energies that hold us together and lift us up? But all of the turmoil and upset that's in the world. Several years ago, especially from the work of Dr. Martin Luther King, some of us started calling the human family the beloved community. It takes a lot of courage to do this. It takes a lot of courage to look out into the world as it is, in the midst of war, conflict, hatred, and division, and to look at it profoundly and to truly believe, and not only believe, but to practice, that a beloved community is emerging. Hatred, division, war, scorn, name-calling, and rejection have never given happiness or life to anybody. Even those who may claim they're victorious because of those practices, they remain fundamentally miserable. That's why, beloved community, you and I must not simply become a circle of like-minded people. We cannot simply become a circle that I love you because you remind me of me. If the beloved community would truly have a mind, heart, and soul, then it would even include those who exclude other people. It would open the door to them. We would never allow another human being to define themselves by their failure, their ability to hurt, or their hatred. We would invite them, as we invite ourselves, to be people of compassion. And the word compassion means to be with another person in every dimension of their life. It's not simply to suffer with, but to rejoice with, to learn with, to walk with. So as I move outward into the world, I move inward into the self. And I'm simply amazed that the more I appreciate myself, the more I can appreciate the sun, the moon, and the stars, or what's ever out there. The diversity of the universe is far greater than we ever imagined. We're on the verge of discovering something wonderful all the time. But let me remind you, you do not have to go millions of miles into outer space to discover how precious your heart is. All you need to do is go across the street. Because what makes your heart so precious, what makes you so worthwhile, is that your innate capacity, your God-given ability, Your universal giftedness is that you have the ability to love. You have the ability to be compassionate. You have the ability to be sympathetic and empathetic. You have the ability to learn. You have the ability to seek truth. You have the ability to seek that which is good. And love ultimately is living one's life for the sake of another at the expense of the self. It sounds almost impossible. It sounds counterintuitive. It almost sounds insane. But millions of people before us, and millions of people right now, and millions of people in the future practice that which some people think is foolish and impossible. And some of the people who practice what other people might think is silly, impossible, if not downright silly, are you. And for that, I thank God. Be at peace.
Wow, Tom, thank you. Whew. I think I say this every time you share with us. We always need a moment to digest because what you bring to us is so full of truth and richness and reminders. You know, it's like when you're speaking, it's like, yeah, we understand that. We know what you're saying. And yet you bring it to a different level for us. And for that, I am so grateful. So wow, everybody. I know there was a question here about a workshop. We are not having a workshop today. However, we have a couple of minutes right now. If you have a question or comment for Tom, this is the place to go ahead and share that. And Tom might have a couple of minutes here to answer a couple of things. Wow, I was jotting down so many notes. I love how you brought in everything has to be exactly where it is right now for me, you, we to be where we are in this second, and that we're precious and incredibly blessed. And you know, this helps us to ground in the present moment, and not be chasing out there somewhere we create we're supposed to be, or is better, or you know, this is the moment, this is the day the Lord hath made. Here we are. I love that we talking about ET phone home. Oh, he did open, and didn't ET just like blew the top off of so many pieces of opening the heart to, you know, things not like ourselves, and becoming inquisitive. I love that you said that. You know, it's not so much, you know, necessarily about the innocence, it's the inquisitiveness that we can get curious about things versus just, I already know about that, you know, and I've already have this judgment or experience about that. But stay inquisitive, radically open to the world around you. There's an energy in that is so divine. You feel it, right, in people when you meet them, like Tom, that there's just this vastness of, I'm radically open to the world around me because there's so much love to be shared and experienced and poured into. I love this conversation. Hi, everybody. I'm just checking in here to see if anybody has any comments. I feel like they're just not loading on my end yet. And I know sometimes we have to take a moment to organize our thoughts too, because there's so much that touches our hearts. I'm looking at my notes here. When we meet others, we rediscover. I didn't finish that. I think you said our hearts or ourselves. Um, I love the quote, never look down on anyone unless you're willing to lift them up. Boy, isn't that, that's a, that's a beautiful reminder.
You
I
know,
like
that
how you
was
talk.
one of the, if I may, that's one of the
Yes.
insights, I think, of the axial period, which is
Mm,
we really have to do a lot of work with that. And a person called Karen Armstrong in the History of Religions has done a book called The Great Transformation.
mm,
Um, I don't know how that woman does what she does, but she seems to know everything about everything. And that book is an astounding survey of the first axial period.
wow.
But instead of seeing the divine as sitting up in a heaven demanding adoration, the divine is a self-giving.
Mm,
It's an eternal self-giving. And I think and if we're created in that image, if we're created because of that image, then our deepest nature is to go outward. Our eyes and ears and our face and our hands all extend outwards. You cannot see yourself.
mhm.
Your very body is constructed to embrace another.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
that divine image. So it's not theological double talk.
Mm-mm.
It actually is revealed in the biology and the physicality of what it is to be a human being.
Mm. Truly. I mean, I know it from my personal experience, I know that always looking outward and being in service has always been the thing that heals and enlightens and expands. You know, in my deepest, darkest times of grief, it's like I knew, like, get up and go serve. Where can you pour yourself out to others? Because it's such a profound experience to be willing to lift up, and even, if you don't feel,
So
you don't.
even if you're driving in traffic and you see an accident,
Right.
sometimes people say that's because we want to be entertained by the grotesque. I don't think so. I think
Oh,
when we see another injured person or an injury anywhere, it breaks our heart and we stop. And that's a moment of empathy. That's a moment of
absolutely.
inclusion. And so I think
Yes.
we have to be careful that we don't label all of these things negatively, but enter into the energy.
Yes.
And I've talked to a couple of people said, did you ever get stuck in traffic because there was an accident? Yes. So, well, when you were passing through the accident zone, what were you thinking?
Right. Yes.
And people
Yes.
say, oh, I remember when that happened to me or happened to my friend. I just want to get out of the car and help.
Mm, yes. Yes. And even if you're, you can't, whatever, for whatever reasons, but you can still send a blessing. You can still have an exchange of care and uplifting and say, oh, allow your heart to open. That's really what we're talking about here, is this heart opening. Okay, let me see here. The feed is moving a little bit. Let's see what's coming in. Jennifer says, thank you so very much, Father Tom, for your rich, thought-provoking, and heart-opening wisdom that you shine on us all. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. Reverend Dr. Dee Moore, welcome. Beginner's Mind, yes. Yes. Michael J says, thank you, beloved. I love his power, truth, and depth. Amazing workshop, depth, other souls. Yes. No workshop today, just remember, but the link is open if anybody wants to come in there and connect and chat and talk. We've covered a lot of ground today. Luinda says, beautiful and very great reminders, Father Tom, acceptance, embracing, loving openness to all. Kathy says, great talk, Tom. Thank you for sharing your love and deep perspective. Thank you, Kathy. Sonia says, and peace be with you. Yes. Jan says, I am so grateful for your explanation of diversity rather than see diversity as a box. my word. Diversity is life, every aspect of it. Oh, that took me to a deep place of clarity. Aha. Dropping all the definitions. It all looks like this.
Mm,
I know,
mm.
wasn't that I appreciate that too, Tom, the way you just named all of the, the swimming in the ocean, the climbing the tree and the mountain and soaring with the birds and the richness of life's diversity. What a boring
Yeah,
place
yeah.
would be if we
And
all
the
were
thing
the
is, that's what we see and hear. In the future, and we're developing it now, the forces that are invisible. There's all
Mm,
kind of invisible forces out there that cause us to live.
yes. Yes.
I mean, that's what
Oh,
I just want to go sit somewhere and cry. It's so beautiful, if you know
mm,
what I mean. It's
I do. I do know what you mean. And I am so grateful for your heart. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us and for sharing it with the world. Um, your message is always so very, very profound and meaningful and life-changing, transformative. And I am so grateful for you. Thank you for thank you for saying yes to the call of
we do
service.
this together.
Yes, I'm thankful. It's such a beautiful space to be. Pat says challenge to be inclusive. Janet, hi honey, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, Father Tom. You've inspired me to open my heart to others more. Yes, I'm so grateful. Like that is the piece that it just my heart is smiling because sometimes when you hear something in a certain way, it just like blows the top off, right? And you're like, I get it now. And I do feel that that's what Father Tom brings with his messages is like this top blowing off conversations that impact so profoundly that it's not we're no longer talking about the blueprint, we're like building the house. And that is the important piece here. Mimi, hi. Father Tom, so grateful for you and your wisdom. Michael J says no words. I know it really that's how I feel after Tom's dialogues, usually like we need a moment of silence. So, wow. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here, for participating, for receiving. Thank you, Tom, for you. I mean, thank you just seems so simplistic, and there's
Thank you
deep,
for
deep
the
gratitude.
opportunity. I
Deep.
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for saying your sacred yes to us. Everybody, thank you for being here. If today's message, our space, supports you, remember you can contribute and be in this circulation with our community through our website, unityinspiredliving.org. I like to close with our prayer of protection, and I like to speak it out as it was intended by the author, as a benediction, as a blessing spoken over you. So I invite you to receive it that way, that you are held and you are guided and you are never, ever alone. And as you move back into the world, holding that, as you open your heart more fully, you hold on to this, that you are never alone. So I'm going to share the screen and pull up our prayer of protection and invite you to receive. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. Power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. The mind of God guides you. The life of God flows through you. The laws of God direct you. The peace of God abides within you. The joy of God uplifts you. The strength of God renews you. The beauty of God inspires you. And wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, beloveds, for being with us today and participating with a sacred yes. When you hear this message and you feel that deeper yes inside of you, that's a calling to serve and show up. And so thank you for being part of this mission with us. And as we move through this Memorial Day weekend, inviting us to just reflect on our hearts and how we can serve, and that willingness to give of oneself, you know, and perhaps part of planting ourselves in presence is asking this: how do I serve this life with greater love, with greater awareness, greater compassion? So thank you, everybody. Shine on, bright beings of love. We are grateful. Thank you, Tom. Deep gratitude. Blessings, peace and blessings.